The men on my lips, I approach your presence, Father, not with fear, but with a certain respectful. With the men on my lips, I approach your presence, Father, not with fear, but with a certain respectful fury. I have very little time, as you well know. Oh, my Father, ancient, hallowed, lonely, disappointed Father, rejected ruler of the universe, handsome, jealous, lord and lover, angry, wrinkled old majesty, I want to pray.
And where would you find me? Appeared in chapters and matters, constellations to breathe the stars like you always known where to begin. I didn't know where I was, still unfolding the soft place, and I thought sealed in this to stay quiet in corners, and I've been banded for the lost. We're not asking me to bloom, just noticing when I did. This made me listen over your story and glances. This read the parts of this and never dared to write. Or used to hide it in tendencies, behind the teeth of the afraid that it might taste like I wanted it worse, like the need for this is silence that it wasn't absent for the permission never found, the salted ways to speak. And the way that I watched it build the mirror for the bending of it, what you had to hold it, this not a wrapping of the warping over the distant flesh, this kind of find it once the inches for the blur, for the often you gaze at the mind of return. And they may have seen the scars form, learn how to press without the reopening. Never offer the side over the speeches of just stillness and the kind that stays long enough for this pain to just name itself and leave. You didn't arrive at the answer for the trick me like a riddle to be solved. This should be stayed. You just stayed enough and long enough for the lock to loosen, long enough for the walls to forget there were walls, never to fill the pages, never the final reading of the margins that stood near. But how do you ask and how far I gone for this walk quiet the paths of me for the fearing of the math, not without fearing of the math, and you look without the flinching, the listening of the needing is down for the somehow you meet me with I never forgot I was writing. The poetry just a silent part of my mind, for the loudest part of my mind. The love and love and love of who listens to you sing, for the depths of the soul that you bring, the tide that you stream, the duality of me for the yang to yang. The love of who makes me feel safe and secure, for the divine of the world, for the brands of your hands, but then superior, for the embracing of the perfect skin and its sure. The love of peace and eternity, for the who dances and prances with me, for the paradise and eyes and dreaming of each other, for the I realize. The love of who speaks only truth, for I am free. Falls with you too, for the colors vibrant true through. Love lyrics and the melodies too. You dance for me for not only doing this for brand, but on demand for the kind matter, for the painting of the lips of the ruby red, for the mapping of the lashes just right. The titleless piece of the thoughts, heart opens the doors of many things, and sometimes more the melodies for the some words and the delicious dessert for the kind of renewing of the smile for child for this and moments and I finish an amazing look and book and this and find a take. The kissing of a slow breeze and walking a fast path of cars for the narrowly midst of both this to find the luck the kissing is slow. The questions for the course of this to find it before you ask. Amongst the ocean for the immensity, for the river, the salivating ideals of the transparent together the night that's swollen with their lies. This is silent to go, the signal to go. The sunrise in the morning for the most beautiful to see. The riches in the man ordered, you can still be the hated over the looking at yourself at the place of the world, for the whistling of the trees, and might as well try. Hidden of the rock for this decade and too long for the bitter for the cool years that become the sun. The moon sways us and this with the tide, this is snow. With the bear for the bumpers that are running through the head, for the calls leading over the park, for the boundary, for the graduation, for you can be empty cathedrals, or without a new hymn for the heart that grows, feeble for the song to be heard for the second time or third, or crawling for the side of my head for the wooden last day, for the voice that will talk to you, but never to go away, for the art of living, for the mic calling it's hard to being alive, for the try to breathe the pain, for this is over sin, for the deep in the dark eyes, for the numbing, the lost nose, for the still smile, for the last of every dumb joke, for this wear a mask, but not just to find a dumb code. The coping of it, what the love of this is dumb, troping over the tripping of the just the false ropes, this is afraid to ask it to coming back for this the false hope, where the synergies attached to the intertwine, for the moving to just find another alone for my own. Circle back for the keep swimming, elapse this field to just not scan detach. For the gears turn, the cars burn, for the never learn, for the chasing of everything from the past, and this running until the last knees buckle, for this always and last, this falling into every call. Or walking right into the traps to try to escape, for the pain always fills the gaps, this is still the same, for the never unchanged, this is shattered glasses, this is a sidestep to blame. My mirrors to see shame never clearer, for the face seems to rearrange every time I ask. In my head, there's still you do, you love me, for the questions and for the kissing that float away, for this the days are great, for this ain't it fun even enough to try to pull you in for the beneath the skin. it's still chubby for the we're born to sin of it. The lovely of it, can you let me in for the won't? You won't. Bleed again for this build to find a beat that's still drumming, for the heart still strumming, or the chase me for you're still running, or the erase me for the replace me, for the keeping the numbing. And all of me, see through the TV screen and ear dream, the colors of the gushing winter bleed, the sweet blue for the forever, from the tracing of the past and along the arms of sweet. A map that always will lead me through the home of you. True story for the slight the thought to find the one to see rose in the secret, floating over wait for the this to be the nostalgia, or the clutching of the you, or the you was eventually the best gift for the kindness of the spirit that can bend. And the setting of the floor for the stand proud and all, for this the best of the gift for the mirror, for the you can admit that count bit. Or pour the grass and how it was the eyes that blinding or unaware.
Whirling arms and booming bling and car alarm.
You're in a place that's quiet now.
Fields are soft and pools are
Restless
clear with glowing
whispers,
light ponds in the
often unheard,
Living room.
like a willow, completely ignoring a bird. Lost in translation, get the words right often so unstable. Causes us to fight for this need to resolve the compromise and learn. And if we don't communicate, we'll have the passion that won't burn. Often unheard, like a willow, completely ignoring a bird. Lost in translation, get the words right often so unstable. It causes us to fight for this need to resolve the compromise and learn. And if we don't communicate, we'll have the passion that won't burn. Stand together for the make the love last, to seek the love future for the holding on to the past, to look into the eyes and tell whether we see the determination for the forever, for the whether you it's just me, to the end and infinity, or in. Immortal for the become the ocean that you are, have to stop for the reason for the bystander for the immortal for the you must be nameless and to understand how much your love is worth in me. Enter the stage, exists to be extinguished, never to say goodbye to anyone for the super. You can find a vain idea. Silent guardian for the wolf, cradle snow. This is to be the moonlit for the hush and the breath and the shadows of love. Here I sit for this, not all the poison, no the potion, no to forget the pain and sorrow for this to bring the comfort and the ease of peace. Love you like the ocean loves the shore. Crash at every pull for the wave of the needs to sand reveal. This is the relationship is still like a table for the introspection of your shared fruit. With a quiet, a rapid, babbling, for the rattling over the loneliness of the parting over your unknown shortcomings and over yourself. And to be the white elephant in the room for the brought to heaviness and over your flaming off and I can stand. In the garden of affection over your love, we'll find colors of your life at the riches and the meaning that dry by the muting sins. Miracles are marked for the beauty is simple in every sight. Every touch and every moment for the engraving of the sand of time, for the testament, for the heart, for the will and the honor over your reaching, over your beyond yourself. This is just a revealing the growth garden of affection. Breeze the pebbles over your raindrops over your writing, hardly enough for the senior old, the burning out. This is not the cigarette toad, the snow to find the ember of the fight, for this to be the hissing of the sharp inhaling of the silence. Comforting the no, shoveling of the snow for the what you knew was cold. I have now. What if and whatever you had it for someone absolutely over the breathtaking over your metal that's strongest than what if you can have the cold feet. Uncaptured, Boom, tonight radiance, this sacred edge just sliced the dark splinter into the synthetic light. But you knew what was right, you got this now. Device that's added and often trapped yourself between that and the reality for the clinging of an illusion. For the truth can be known in tooth and geometry, shadows and semblance. It's the motion moon. It's more of an image than I for the pursuit of permanence and of the living in the dim, the flatten over your hush. This night is not a moon, for this is through the lens, but the globe for the spilling across the skin. For this is the presence displaced to dark. This truth, you face to capture. Or the repeating of what the cure is, alone is. Should you put you on your later on for the watching of the gather, for the round of pain, for the nice to see you now, for the band, but not forgotten now, for the safety of the tight whisper in lies and erasing your story, the dimming in sky. Meant to be an explosion, but we're meant to be for the reverse decree. At the same time, we can work it and not decided enough for your reflection of the reflect. This what's going better now for the dream, follow the fate, just hoping to lead to you, for the allow you to seek me, for the trials of unforgiven truth, and you have not that thought was feeling, and it wrought the trust. The sacred voice tone, home in the distance of the pocket of the ocean, the whispering farewell behind me, for the wind to carry me a name, and the former shores, and the heart to still be the same, and the music can still be a memory for the still to feel the pulsing of the deep soul. This is faith beneath breath in every corner, for the devotion to linger over the air, for the scent, for the instance of your dream to take it back, so I can find the serenity. And it tethers me for the continent, for the missing of your voice to shape me. It held me, soil and never the new me, never the growth, for the putting it forward, for the leave shadows behind this, shadows from the home, for the etch and sketch, this the echoes of the mother song, for the scent, for the trials, wonder, and the independent day. The music that brings the pain to surface, and when it was too further deep, and remember for the wounds that needed the air to heal. A single idea of love, for the intention, affection, the compressed in time. This is for you. Ordinary. Not the ordinary night, for the screams of a hummingbird, the same distilling in darkness, for the lightning splits the sky, the thunder rattles of the windows, of the sending of the chills down your spine. I can find the rounding of the defense. Once taken flight with the memory of the surely fine. To the museum of your yearnings, the soft purr of the magic of the snow drifts that were the full notebook of the burnings to become dull, never so pale like pressed paddles, enough of the big cane between the pedals, and just to find the pages enough of yourself for the promises and then make myself again for the biting of the deeply enraging. Giving me poison, I don't want to give up hope, but the blind and shining in the morning dew for the ear to until the dry, for the words are quietly whispered to you for the once colorful petals. They are as promised, tucked away neatly, admittedly for the I'm comforter. But the particular way that you know me, for the caught between the dusty crossroads of the juxtaposition, and for the supposing of a you find small roads that is to meet the ends of busy highways. Where all the river roads go for to meet unforgiving byways that fearlessly spilled upon the secrets of this without the words. No matter what you do, no matter what we say, at the end of the day, we're happy, hopefully. I suppose. Unconditional love with no exceptions, and except there's no perfection, only in you arise in the day of you shine. What's so light that you could lift above the horizon of the horrors and I? Wait for the more energy for the currency that currently can't combine the contractions of will to be coming over the words, or just to hear to finish. Or the first in order to last a time that could watch me. No need for me to need to watch this, rather tell time for them to see that this is soon enough for the right to know. Second to right for it to be the first, this should be the king for the make a prince, this to be made for the prince, and therefore to find the muse of the king for the pop, and then to find this the healing, the sick, and the music, the heal. Walking the earth and the souls of the bodies, the soul and shoes, and soul their blood to the alchemy of the mind. Reminiscent of your memory, and I can find a crying symphony for the blaring trumpets, your beacon of the somber things, and you can find a drum rolling. Warning saying something is off, the closure that should be near. Now I was hoping so hard enough symphony is more than likely the same for the beat. Remaining alive at the finish of what I saw. Feel less broken, but still very shitty. In a fear grasp, but the domain is small. Dreams for the underneath me, find calm. Gone is what I sought, and just a time to flow. As the music stops, nobody knows. And the crossroads bring to the stand the choice of the unfolding of the whispers to the destiny of each path untold. For the shadows to sway to the left, for the wind becomes a right. The cosmic ballet. For the things to take hold, for the shadow of the wind, for the sun, for the pondering of the course of this uncertain as the bold, for the misguiding of the shadow, for the guiding, you can find an enigma with conviction. And I strive for the path, embracing through the shadows to diverge of the separate races, yet each turn to find a decision over the unfurling of the shadow and lions into smooth silence and grace. It was the house of the black rose, this to find hallways with many doors, trust, honesty, and the love and the unity to strong with the core for the magic and rising and more. Growing the perpetual love for the, you can call it home for the dancing and keeping it warm. To protect it, it must be the headquarters of the rose in the house with the really high walls surrounded by many doors. The dichotomy of your words. Talking about the things that happen in your life, to stay quiet and silent and not talk about the things anymore. It'll be just you and your thoughts in a loud mind. Feeling everything to turn into someone who suffers with the chronic emptiness and the acceptance of life, and this is how it is. Hidden from the eyes of the people that are the thoughts of the mind, but it speaks more than words do. I have no fondness for the intimacy, for the magic of the limbs, and the composing of your divine wickedness and the injecting of your venom thoughts. Ever frail. Deranged mind for the viewer, for the discretion of eyes, and the artistic and expression for the madness and such being taken literally for the reading at your own risk. It's the priority for the option. To be chosen by someone for the being truly, for the fully, and not just an option. Priority. Don't cry for me for not the night of love, whenever they hear you can have above the breaking of the heart breed. Please, just to see you while there must be weakness for me. And I have an opinion not to distract, and I may. That use of opinion for the justice birds of the rain. Hidden under the ease of the dodging of the hoop, the tucking into the leaves, the calling of the friend, waiting and waiting for the weather to do. Whether with the weather or not, it always the seeding for the seeding, the sack that sick, the sanctuary to stick around, the stoic getting away for the chip of the chirps, this chancing of clouds and gusts, this calling of crying and casting over the comb home, this clear cutting over your crow's kiss, cascading this cadence over your thrusting of the catastrophic, clamor for the cascading and the waiting you hear back for the alleviating the unknown. Flower the flower that I bloomed, the time is right for the storm to pick up and bear the fight for the holding of the beauty in the darkness of the night, for the nowhere to love. Bring the joy for the farthest of sight, for this is where the flower for the compose of the rose of the fall for me, for the wish it grows of the wildest of thorn. This is watching for show I mourn. To be the temporary beauty, for the film me is so rudely, you're just a flower that has no power for the flower that just be a flower, I suppose. I feel the love and I'm with you, but I never ignore to feel abuse or the dying peace and the name for this death notice like words of mine for this funeral inside of the ribs and the unfitting in the time and I felt everything for the word for just a glance in the silence and stretched too long for the end too soon. And I sat heavily pressed into the ribs and etched into the skin belongs there now. And the feeling and unfeeling of the empty for the numb just to be free. The weight has been lifting over the echoes of faded descent untouched to watch the world witch without setting left suffocating me for the smiles that come easy. Because they belong to me now. And laughter doesn't have to linger for mean something and no longer for the hell hostage for the ever passing thought for the ever feeling that once begged me to be cared. I used to think that lost feeling was something, losing is something, and never the maybe letting it go for the maybe the choosing of what it stays. This is choosing what matters and choosing me. Maybe that's the best part. Maybe the unfeeling itself this way. There has to be exist this way and exit. Exit this way for the hate the love story. Not supposed this to hate the way that your life sticks to me for this is song you can't turn off. It's something I've never meant to memorize but cannot forget. They say they can't until that's apart for this to find afar for the truth for them. Because when it gets hard for the escape, get over the world for the right now, for this to be the living and the losing for the noble to seem afraid. And the rush connection to the wake, disappearance for the return for the repeat. Yesterday for the rest for the eye dreaming of something different. remains in the bond. Distinct companionship with heaven, life and the experience of the vision is water over you. Underneath that, for himself, with peaceful absences to make yourself back to the forsaken blizzard. The turmoil inside of the brain. Here it comes again. Sometimes you find the air for the songs in the vein, to the singing over the soul instead of the seeking for escape. Mind is a generator for the knuckles of the brass, and so the glass is a torso for the carburetor for the magnet or the hope. Been selfish than concerned. Nasty with a side for the written artist and closing over the closest and the furthest change appears to be the point for it with your wavelength centered upon a specific continuum for the defining the passion and or such. This is the final verse. The realizing dreams and the memories you made for the page of the life and the verse to tell. It wasn't perfect, but neither are you.